We now have only 6 teams left in the EU Gears Spring Major. My name is Tun, and I'm here with Toby and Fru. It is day number 2. It is Championship Sunday here in Europe, and very excited to get this one kicked off. What a day we had yesterday, boys. Fru, some surprises along the way, but we pretty much have what we thought we would have at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the challenger teams, they came to play yesterday, didn't they? Really, putting our Pro League teams right to the wire and in some cases even beating them in Regal Reserve. It was a fantastic day, Ton, and looking forward to getting to more games today.
Toby, absolutely fantastic games yesterday, weren't there? Some challenger teams causing some surprises along the way. Are we looking at any of those and expecting them to go much further? Okay, well, Toby, I think you're muted at the minute, mate. So you're going to have to actually... There you go. Do you want to just say all that again?
I'll repeat that there for the viewers. But what I did say, Chris, is actually the amateur teams played very, very well yesterday. Of course, the first half was a huge shock for many in terms of how they performed. But I think today will be a return to normalization as the pro teams do perform a bit better, perhaps, now that they've sunk their teeth into the tournament.
So much Gears knowledge, you had to say it twice. There you go. Losers bracket. Let's have a look at it to see how it is going to run out. Actually, we're going to look at the losers bracket first to have a look at how things are going to play out. First and foremost, this morning we are going to see 3 times Riley going up against Team Sick, but the game we will be watching is going to be Obey Alliance against Regal Reserve. That's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Regal Reserve probably not expecting to find themselves down here in this position, at least anyway. Of course, they did go on to lose against 3 times Rowdy yesterday, and then, of course, 3 times Rowdy went on to lose against Elevate. So probably would have been expecting to be on the other side of the bracket here. For Obey Alliance, though, played a lot better than we have seen as of recent in the Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, Obey yesterday against Rated R, they had, it was one of the best games I've seen them play in a long, long time. Yes, they did lose the series, but their individual play and their team play, it was at a top pro level. And honestly, that surprised me, and I think it surprised a lot of us as well, because they did come out of the gates, they were firing on all cylinders, and yes, they find themselves here in a very, very tough loser bracket round 3. I think, as you said, they would have been expecting to come up against a challenger team at this point. But the way they played yesterday, they were looking very, very good, and this is a very good treat to have this early on a Sunday morning.
It is. And honestly, they did play a lot better, Obey Alliance. We'll see how they're going to go. Let's have a look at the winners bracket, though, and see how things are playing out there. Of course, we find ourselves with the predictable winners bracket final, has to be said. Rated R Elevate was probably what was on everyone's thoughts, Toby. No surprises in that respect.
No, absolutely not. I think Rated R and Elevate both had a little bit tougher games than we expected, right? Of course, that all-important Rated R Obey Alliance showdown was just something incredible. We had the pleasure of casting that one yesterday. And of course, Elevate had a little bit more of a difficult map on exhibit than many expected, as 3x Ridey really did turn up. Hope they do turn up today in their game. But yeah, I think no surprise, we do have Rated R and Elevate, the 2 top teams in Europe currently. They're going to be going against each other in the winners bracket final.
Very excited for that one, but we do actually have Obey Alliance against Regal Reserve first. Now, 2 Pro League teams in the losers bracket. Do or die for both of these 2. Let's start on about this game, because as we said, we touched on Obey Alliance's performance yesterday. I queried whether it was Rated R, maybe not at the races in their game against Obey, but we argued that it was looking like Obey were playing a lot more aggressive. They just seemed to be hitting their shots break. I was having a great time with things as well, which is something to note. J-Rage was his usual self, playing very, very well as well. Through, I mean, for me, outside of the Pro League, they've looked a lot better. And it just seems to be when these major events come up, whether it be LAN or online, they do seem to perform a little bit better. Do they have enough to beat Regal Reserve, though? They got 5-0, 5-0 the other day off them.
Yeah, it really wasn't a good showing for their last week of the Pro League, to be honest with you. But I think Obey Alliance, they're a tournament team. They don't really succeed in the Pro League structure, in that weekly game format. But, when money's on the line, when their life's on the line as well, they always seem to find a bit of a second wind. We see it in the qualification tournaments every single quarter. Yeah. They come back in, they 2-0 everyone and just look very, very good. Then they go back in the Pro League and don't look fantastic. The 5-0, 5-0, I don't think is a really representative scoreline, to be honest with you. I think Regal had a good day. I think Obey had a terrible day. I think this time it's going to be a little bit closer, much more like we saw in the first time they met, when it was a 2-1 series, and a much, much closer affair.
Well, we will probably have a close affair. A lot on the line between these 2. But through the week, I actually had a chance to speak with Jack Reaction of Regal Reserve.
I'm here with Jack Reaction from Regal Reserve. Jack just joined the roster this quarter, and you were quite successful in the beginning, I suppose, Jack, but a bit of a topsy-turvy season for Regal Reserve.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a bit topsy-turvy. We've had some with the first game of the season with Obey, and it really could have gone either way. But then from there, I felt like we progressed quite a lot as a team and just had some seriously close matches, like with Rated R first and the second game of the season. We won the first map convincingly and went into the second map 1 round away from closing it out. And I don't know what happened really. We just had 2 5-4s that didn't actually go in our favour, which could have done. And from there, it's been sort of like the same kind of result throughout. You know, against Elevate again, not closing out the 5-4s, and it's just been so unfortunate. But I don't want to make excuses or anything, but it is my first season with the team, and we are just trying to fix the mistakes that we have been making and build from that. And I believe that coming into the last game of the season, we played against Obey, and we kind of blew them out of the water, as you saw. You know, we didn't lose a single round. We played really, really, really well. And going into the major, I think that was a really good confidence booster for us to show that we can play perfect gears in our own opinion, you know, and how we really want to progress and go with the squad, because we're not like one of these teams like the Rated R's, you know, that play off of a high clutch factor. We do like to play methodical gears, to say, like as an example of how we like to play, you know. But going into this major, I'm really confident with how we're going to play, and hopefully it doesn't reflect the way we played in the Pro League itself with the 5-4s and everything not going our way. Hopefully we can close these ones out and come out on top.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that sort of rang true throughout the Pro League. It was you guys were like so close but so far. It's like a couple of rounds here or there, and it's such a different sort of standings, if anything. You know, I said the close games were Rated R. You had close, met a couple of rounds here and there, went differently against Elevate. It's only a very different scoreline. In terms of yourself, though, you touched on it. You know, you just joined the team. Did it take you a decent amount of time to adapt, considering this is your first quarter in the Pro League in Gears 5?
So yeah, I have to admit, honestly, I started out and I haven't still not reached my full potential yet, because this game isn't difficult, but it's about knowing the importance of your position. So I'm playing a lot of like the 1v1 home hill kind of positions, and I don't really get to rotate into the fights as much as I'd like to, because that's where I thrive. You know, I've always been like a team fight kind of player that runs in and helps his team and gets some of these clutch kills, and I know I'm capable of doing it. But in this roster, the role that needed to be filled was the one that I'm playing now, you know, the home hill, and trying to be the anchor for the team. And my role is so important that I may not be able to win us as many rounds as I'd like to, but I can definitely lose us rounds, you know. And that's what the thing I'm finding out the most is about the importance of my life on this game. And with the respawn economy being a thing and everything like that, you know, I need to be able to be getting those crimson-like stat lines, you know, the lowest possible deaths, but with the most possible assists I can get, and that's all I can like. You know, I'm going to just continue trying to get to that position where I want to be. I know I've got the ability to get there, and it's just about practice. I'm 7 months behind everybody else, 6 months behind everybody else, you know. So yeah, it'll take me a little while, but this season, like I said, I didn't get the best placement that I'd have liked, or the individual performance that I'd have liked, but I believe that going into this major, I'm a lot better now than I was throughout the season, and we're playing a little bit better than we did before, and that's the only thing we can aim to do. You know, we can't expect Rome to be built in a day.
So looking at your team, looking at Regal Reserve, where do you see the improvements that you need to make?
As a team, definitely we need to make improvements on just knowledge of the round, you know, being aware that we are winning. We don't need to fight certain fights, you know, knowing when to hold, when to push, and when we need to just let the other teams have certain map control and not actually have to fight for it. Because when we're going to win off of a 1-cap, it's not about giving them the whole map and turtling on our hill, but it's about knowing when we have to take steps back, you know, and let them have a little bit more, but not giving them everything. And I feel like what we do is we have like that initial fight right at the end of the round when we're about to win, and then that can go either way, and that's our problem at the moment, you know, like we're having fights too far up the map and losing too many people right at the end when we're about to win. So our main thing is not dying for nothing, you know. That's how we try to describe it in a team. Don't die for nothing, because at the moment that's what we keep doing, and they're things that we are working on. We're just going to have to just make sure that we play our life perfectly right at the end of the round when we need to close out the round the most. And Yeah, that's something we've been trying to work on them as our priority, because that's where we seem to be falling. We're doing some great initials with wiping teams, getting a 100-point lead, 80-point lead, and then throwing it right away at the end. And there's nothing more painful than that as a competitor, to see you dominate for 3 minutes and lose at the end. It's a very frustrating way to lose. So that's our main priority at the moment.
Yeah, I think one thing that me and Fru have always said, and this was before you were in Regal, was that Regal liked to die. And I think you could probably sort of see where we're coming from. That beforehand specifically, we thought that you guys were reining it in. We paid that tribute to your experience coming in the team, telling these guys that maybe we need to rein it in sometimes, that they would be a little bit aggressive in silly situations. And I think that was just maybe the Regal way.
Yeah, I can't speak so much for the previous seasons, because I'll be honest with you, when you've got teammates on your team that aren't giving it 100% and for some reason don't want to be there, even though they're on a full-time salary. I know I'm not trying to discuss numbers or anything, but they're on a full-time salary. They're being paid to play the video game, and they go to events and not give it 100%. That's why I cannot understand how people can do that, like how they can sit there and practice and go to events and not actually care about the game. So that to me is mind-boggling, and that's what happened. And they've had some poor results because of that. And now with me joining the roster, obviously, I've got that drive to win all the time, and it's all I want to do. So I'm passionate about the game when I'm playing, and I'm passionate about us not making mistakes. So yeah, I admit I haven't had the best individual performances, and to be honest with you, I'll probably let them down more than they've let any of us down, like as any other player on the roster. But that's purely down to game time, and I'm happy to continue to put that in whilst I've got the opportunity to. And once I start to pick up my game and play as good as I know I can and be at the top of the game, then we're definitely going to be that team to worry about, and at the top of around the top of the pro league, especially in our region, and coming up to the future international events, will be a team to watch out for. And that's all we can aim to be. I understand that I'm going to be lagging behind with the time, so it's just what I've got to do to put it back in.
In terms of teams that we're looking at, obviously there's teams like Reader's Team Sick, etc. Is there anybody in particular that you're looking out for and are wary of, maybe breaking that top 4 pro league team sort of line, if you like?
Yeah, so you hit on Reader's Team, and I'll be honest with you, I don't dislike anyone in that team, and I don't have anything against them, but I'll be honest with you, they aren't the best AM team. They are not anywhere near the best AM team at the moment. The best AM team, in my opinion, the team I'd be most wary of is the team Vision, Astrals, Warrior Guns team, Nestiques and that. They are honestly extremely skilled players. You haven't had much airtime with them and seen them on playing the game and stuff, but at the moment they are causing a storm. They're winning a lot of maps, playing really dominant gears. And in the AM scene, I believe they're the next best team to the team that have top 3 in the pro league. And if anything, going into them, I'd treat them the same as I treat Rated R and I'd treat Elevate. We don't give them an inch. You have to play perfect gears, otherwise they will punish you. So Reader's Team I wouldn't class as top 4, but they're definitely up there, maybe top 5, top 6. But there's other teams as well at the academy. They've shown through week in, week out in the Challenger League that they can play the game and they can cause upsets. So with these tournaments, you can't take anybody lightly, and we definitely won't be. So we'll be going out all guns blazing every single match, and that's the way to do it. Otherwise, if you go into a tournament for this amount of money, not giving it your all, and you lose, you only have yourselves to blame, and that's not what we're trying to do this weekend.
So the tournament this weekend, of course, the major's coming up. What are your expectations? Obviously, everyone's going in to win it, but I mean, I'll ask you the stupid question: what would you be happy with?
Myself, being a competitor at the level that I know I can compete at, I wouldn't be happy with anything less than first. I'm telling you now, my main objective in this tournament is to beat a specific team. Whether I want to say that or not, I don't know, but
say it.
I know. I want to beat Rated R so badly, because I believe that they are a team that plays Gears 5 at the moment. They don't play correctly. And that's me going out saying that. I know it might sound a bit controversial, because they just won the league. They played really well at the last event, and I completely respect that. But from a Gears player, through the length I've played this game, they don't play the game correctly. They come up with the most crazy clutches at the end of the rounds, and that should not be allowed. That will get exposed coming in against the top teams in America. And it will start to show that it will get exposed against the better teams that play teamwork-based gears in EU, like Elevate. They just beat them in the last game, and the way that we like to play the game, I know, and what we're capable with, I know we'll start to beat them as well. And I know that sounds controversial, considering we were 6 points behind them and didn't have the greatest score, but it's just about my personal ambition for this team and what I know we're capable of. So yeah, going into the tournament, as long as we play them in semis when we reach there and they reach there. So that is what I'm aiming for, to get to beat those guys, you know. And then obviously going forward, we'd like to go to the grand final and place first. Who wouldn't? So that's my expectations, and yeah. So I don't really have much more to build on that at the moment, but that's exactly where I'd like to be.
Find a good kill, but will get dropped, just prolonging the inevitable. The domination eventually ticking on in. Maybe a little bit later than it should have. In all honesty, 5-0 to Regal Reserve. That is a convincing win. Chat reaction giving us some fantastic answers as per usual. We're just all sitting here listening, and obviously I was there, as you can tell, but you guys just going, oh, like all the way through it. It's nice to always get Jack's opinion. Always very straight, isn't he? Let's be honest. And a couple of things pointing out there, Toby. He said that, 3 times Rowdy are the best ARM team. Well, they found that out firsthand, didn't they?
Yeah, me and Fru were saying that our predictions were wrong, and Jack reactions were spot on, right? 3x Rowdy was a team that we really respect individually, the way you look at that roster and it's stacked from head to toe, but we didn't feel like they were the team that would be outperforming the rest of them, right? And rising to the top of that amateur pack. But yeah, they proved us wrong. They performed very, very well yesterday. And I'm very happy for them. The question is, can they perform just as well against Team Sick? Have Team Sick turned it around, or will they start slow? That's the question.
We're going to have a look at the picks and bans. Let's continue discussing the interview that we're here through. He said he really wants to beat Rated R. There's very much a chance that they could run into them. They've got a couple of games to get through first, though, haven't they? As the picks and bans do come up, you can peruse them while we discuss this.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be meeting Rated R at any point today? Because in my predictions, we were discussing them before. I do believe they will.
Yeah, I think they might find them in that losers bracket final. That's kind of how I'm seeing everything play out today. But realistically, it does depend on who plays. I know everyone says this. It depends who plays well on the day. If Obey come out and play very well today, we might not see Regal in the next round at all. Likewise, if Team Sick or 3x Rowdy come out and they meet them in the next round, we might not see them in that losers bracket final. So there's so many close games coming up that we can't really for certain say yes or no. But if you had to put money on one loser bracket final that probably would come through, it would probably be Regal against Rated R.
Yeah, that is what makes sense. But here you go. Picks and bans are up. Valscar and Asylum gone. And then the pick coming in from Regal for Training Grounds. District coming in for Obey. Don't mind those 2 maps for Regal whatsoever. Exhibit is what we will see last if we do get there, as Bunker and Icebound are gone. Anything standing out for you here, Toby?
Not too stand out. It's the typical bans, of course, from Vasgar with Obey. But Asylum was banned by Regal. I respect that. They probably watched Obey's game back and they thought, wow, well played. And of course, Jack Reaction in that interview was mentioning how he respects teamwork gears, if you will. And that's definitely what Obey were playing in the first half on Asylum. So not too surprised there. I mean, Training Grounds, District, Obey have had some good games on District, not so good games other times. They had a great map yesterday, albeit a little bit close. But I think that my prediction, at least, is that this will go to a final map. And, Obey, they looked pretty decent on Exhibit yesterday. So that's not too bad of a last map if we do get to that for them.
Fru, anything on these maps?
I've got a couple of things, actually. So the first 2 maps that we're going to see, Training Grounds and District, that's actually the 2 maps that we saw in the first series that these 2 guys met up in the Pro League. It was 5-4, 5-4, round 9s on both of those maps, and it could have gone either way on both of them. It was a really good couple of maps. The other thing I want to point out is that Vascar ban at the start. The last 2 times these 2 teams have met, Regal Reserve has picked Vascar in both series and has won it in both series. That's a very good ban if you're Obey. They've done their homework here, and I like what I'm seeing. They've managed to get themselves on maps that they are comfortable on. They've had good success against Regal on in the past, and that Exhibit, that's a little bit of an outlier. I can see why Regal have gone that way, because Regal, obviously, they battered Obey on it last week. Icebound would have been a better pick for Obey as well, so I think that's smart in Regal going that way, but I think we've got a very tasty series coming up just based upon the picks and bans themselves.
Well, if Obey can play anything like they did against Rated R yesterday, it should be an absolute cracker. My only concern is consistency. If they can consistently keep playing like that, Obey are going to be without question, in there and in and around all the time. But you know, sometimes it just seems to be lackadaisical from them. The aggression coming out of them yesterday is what found themselves in a good spot against Rated R. But in all honesty, I just think that we need to see a little bit more from them again today if they want to beat Regal. Toby, before we lose you, I want your final prediction for the game.
I think this will be a 2-1, but I do feel as though Regal will see it out. I think Obey will turn up, at least I'm hoping for their sake, but I feel like Regal will keep it together and perform at the usual standard and just about see it out in a close map 3.
Very much Toby through. We're going to be guiding the guys in the stream through this one. And it is going to be Obey Alliance against Regal Reserve. Training Grounds District exhibit coming up. And this should be tasty. I think you're very, very right. Looking back to that very first series we've seen between these two at the spring quarter, it was so close. We were querying where Regal Reserve were going to be with the changes that came up. They just about won, and it was in, I don't want to say questionable circumstances, but they definitely got a hand. You know, one round, I think it was Ashen's disconnected, didn't he, on District, and Regal went on to win that one. They were 4-3 down and then went to win the last round. So very, very different circumstances is what we could have found ourselves in. Oh, it's almost like we're there. It's almost like we're at a live event. Do you like that? That just,
I love
just
that.
Came out of nowhere.
I did not know that was coming.
Oh, my word. Hilarious. Anyway, we're going to move over to Hood's Training Grounds. It is Obey Alliance against Regal Reserve. It is Championship Sunday here at the online EU Major. And we're very, very excited to get into the action here, Fruit.
That we are.
Does that call you off guard, mate?
It really has. I love that so much. And I did not expect it whatsoever, but something that we might have expected was Cougars getting that first kill there. Regal Reserve opening strong. My prediction, we didn't get to go into it too much, but I kind of do feel Regal might come out of this 2-0 up, to be honest with you. But, you know, that is, pending some good play by Obey, we might see a third map come into it.
We might do. TJ's going to get a nice kill onto Zorkos, though, as we do open things up. And it has mostly been control of this bridge area that both these two teams have been fighting over. B has, as we have said, went over towards Regal Reserve, but Obey look like they want to go for the overextension towards the home hill. Now they're going to try and get rid of Physics here, who has now been spotted up, but it's such a little good spot there, isn't it? In that little cubby, you just can't be taken down from a couple of different angles, and you can cause so many problems. But right now, Regal Reserve are set up, and Obey are going to have to break.
That they are, aren't they? Already at a 40-point disadvantage here, Tan. As they do find that down there quickly on Physics, but both teams trading out here pretty well. Obey trying to draw a bit of attention away from that middle hill as they look to break it, but J-Rage, he's got 3 players ahead of him here. One to the right as well. They've got to make a play here, and it looks to be trying to pinch here on Cougars. They do find the down there. The meat shield a little bit too slow. Breaker now trying to make some good plays for his team. Will get taken out in the end. A 1v3 situation, not the easiest thing to turn around, especially against Regal Reserve here, but Saki trying to do his best here in the exact same situation. Finds one, will go down. I would have liked to have seen him take his time there a little bit, get his health back a little bit, wait for his team to come through, but Ashens is here to try and save the day. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Massive play out of Ashens. He's going to push through, save Saki, and then they're going to get a hold of B. Saki pushes forward and keeping the pressure on. This is good from Obey Alliance. They're going to get back into control. Win condition will stay with Regal Reserve, though. They have allowed them too much of a lead. So 1 cap will do. But I do feel as if, you know, 1 decap for a few seconds will put Obey Alliance back in the driving seat, but we can see Regal Reserve trying to branch their wings out a little bit here. Shots into TJ. Can't find anything. If you're Obey Alliance, you do have time here, though. You do have 50 seconds to try and break this, so they can take their time to set up for it.
Yep. So they're going to be worried about Zorkos, though. No one is putting pressure on him, which is giving Zorkos so much time, and that's perfect crossfire there from Regal. Pretty much perfect as they get this B hill. The elimination is going to come through as well, and Obey, they just didn't allocate their resources properly there. They should have had someone shooting down that line to Zorkos to make sure he just couldn't continuously put in the damage there. You know, those that are up on that high tier tower, they're not so much the problem. You've got cover against those guys. You can put yourself in cover, but the problem is Zorkos at the end of the line is doing so much damage, and you saw him there getting 3 downs, gets the kill on that 3rd down, and that's a very good defense there for Regal.
Nicely done. And that is good from Regal. I think just the lead that they initially got is what set them up to be in such a good position there. And then they just hold very well. So there you go. Loadouts looking like they're going to come on through on both two teams. Yep. Utility grenades across the board. No surprises there. And we're going to go back into it. Now, this initial fight last time round was won by Regal, and that's ultimately what did win them the whole thing.
Yep.
They were able to set up, get a good point lead, and then only needed the 1 cap. So Let's see, can Obey Alliance do something different here?
Well, a flashbang's going to go in from Zorkos. Zorkos leading the way in. You can see Obey actually, they're playing it way slower. They delayed a second there, waited for Regal to waste their flash, but in the end, Obey, they also waste theirs. Good down on Zorkos coming through here, Tan, as they start to push around. You can see Regal, they're having to back off here, having to get themselves out of there because Obey, they've won that fight this time around. They've also got that neutral hill as well. You can see the B hill going the way of Obey. That's really, really well played from them. Question is can they start to now put the pressure on Regal here and not let them come back into this as quickly as they would like? TJ now in a 1v1 situation.
Could do a win in
Getting
this,
crossed out
TJ.
from the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be careful.
Oh, he does have help here, though. Breaker's there. Finds one down, backs on down, and they're just keeping them at bay here, Obey Alliance, but I say that TJ and Breaker then do go down. Fractures finding two with the help of his teammates, and J-Rage has to back on down, maybe just try and find something here, or maybe just get out, but he is going to go on the aggression. Can he find anything? He will get out. And that's just as good as finding a kill, if anything, just staying alive. Maybe he can find himself in a position with the rest of his team to get this one back, but right now they're overextending themselves, and they went all the way around to A. That is no doubt Saki. Loves an overextend, that kid, but J-Rage is going to find the kill, and they should be able to get C back here. Not many members of Regal Reserve in and around it, but Regal have went over towards B, but Obey Alliance will be absolutely happy to let them do that. C and A in their control now.
Yeah, that was very, very well played by Obey, and Saki specifically, he delayed that extension over to Regal's home hill for a few seconds, just waiting for the person off spawn to disappear over towards the B side, and it just meant that Regal couldn't react in time to stop him doing that, and now he's even got himself out alive. Saki, that was a fantastic play by him. I hope he continues playing like this, because it's heads-up plays like that that really do keep your team in it. Yes, they're now at a ring disadvantage, but he's there again, right? Look at him, he's there again.
He's such a nuisance. Honestly, it's such a problem when a player is just consistently doing this. Decapping, stopping you getting points. Even if he doesn't find anything else here, his job's already done. Jack's had to come over, so they've had to move resources away from B. Obey Alliance can then concentrate their efforts on that. Saki, your job is done. He's already captured A, and honestly, if I'm Obey, I'm backing down if I can. He's going to try and force the fight. Here we go. The engagement's coming in for Regal, but they're back on down. Perfectly done by Saki and Breaker there. They have played them like a fiddle, in all honesty. Very well played. Breaker is going to go down, but I said damage already done. It's 200-136 lead for Obey Alliance. They're looking good for the win here in round number 2.
Definitely so. Problem is now is that Regal, they're onto that Obey home hill. They can't really lose this middle. There is a 1v1 here. TJ missing a couple of shots. No, not like this. Cougar's 1v1 situation does have backup. You can see that Lancer fire coming in from the left-hand side. They're going to have to back out. They're going to have to go defend B, and I'd like to see someone from Obey making their way over to that A hill now, just to secure it all. It looks like they're going to get that down over by B. Jack's going to fall. Breaker as well. J-Rage trying to do the best here to defend their home, but Cougars, he's going huge. I don't think it's going to matter, though. Obey, they slay out in the end, and just like that, we're tied back up.
Lovely stuff from Obey. Very nicely done. And that's one thing they've always been good at, specifically on Exhibit. All the time, Saki is over the top. He's getting in and around. 3 caps, 2 breaks from him in 2 rounds. And that's what you like to see. He might not put up the biggest amount of numbers, Saki, but the other things that he does for the team could not be underestimated at all. More Flash is about to come in here, so this initial is going to get a little bit more spicy, but very well played from Obey. I liked everything about that. They may not have found a ton of kills, but they didn't need to, therefore. They didn't need to at all.
They didn't at all. That's all. Looking around onto this round 3, though. All about that opening. Let's see which team decides to play the aggressive. It looks like Zorkos once again trying to push forward, but flash back out. Obey's counter flash is good. You can see that great double kill coming in from Cougars, though. Just takes advantage of Obey. And now this is a lot of pressure, isn't it, coming in from Regal?
Yeah,
already on this home hill.
Yeah, they've got to hold a B as well. If you're Obey, you need to win a couple of gunfights here. They do have the numbers, and they are coming off respawn, so let's see if Regal Reserve can find anything here. They are going to go down. Saki is the only one to drop. Good defense by Obey, but a big flash just coming in for Regal at the beginning there allows Zorkos to find those 2 kills very, very easily. He's going to go down, though, and he's actually down to 1 life already, Zorkos, so keep an eye on that. Only into round number 3 here, and they will reset after the next round, though. Ashens and Coda trying to fight back here over towards top bridge. Shot's going to go in. He's got Breaker for company. Breaker's been shooting well so far this weekend. Can he continue to do so? Good shots in by Ashens. Cougars is going to get punished there as well. And they continue to push forward as they try to get control of top bridge. Great cover fire coming in there. Reactions down as well. The overextension's going to come in towards C. That's nicely done by OB. But keep an eye on where the rest of Regal Reserve are. Already set up towards B. They can overextend through mid-map all the way to A if they want to. But great covering fire coming in here from Ashens. And once again, we're seeing a much better OB Alliance performance. Maybe it's just the pressure off a little bit. There's been rumors through the week of team breakups, etc. Doesn't seem like it in this game, though, does it? Domination ticking through. OB Alliance, that is beautiful.
I'm telling you, man, these guys, they might not see eye to eye right now, but they are a tournament team. They love this atmosphere. Do or die. And you don't get much more than do or die in the EU Major. Losers bracket, right up, start of Sunday, Championship Sunday with 50 grand on the line. It really is it for them, isn't it? I mean, if they do well, they might continue to next season. Who knows? If they do very well, they might not even have to go into that qualification tournament. Depends on those points that they get from this major, all right? As we still have a few placement shuffles to go, perhaps.
Let's see then. Continuing this one on. Can OB Alliance keep up their good work here? Training Grounds is working for them, but this is a Regal Reserve pick as well, so OB will be happy with this performance so far. If they can take this map, they are going to be cruising. J-Ridge, though, trying to put shots in. Just a reminder, this is the losers bracket. Loser will be out of the tournament. Both Pro League teams. There is going to be a Challenger team top 4, no doubt. J-Ridge and Code, though, trying to win this battle up top. Cougars backing on down. The rest of the team here from OB to try and help them out, but good crossfire coming in from that home hill. Good shots. TJ and Breaker need to answer back. Breaker finds 2 downs there, and it's a fantastic shot grenade that's found it.
That really is. That really is a perfect shot grenade coming through from OB. Whoever threw that? Was it Breaker that threw that? Absolutely wonderful. It's delightful, isn't it? When you get something that just lands so flush like that, and you're getting double downs with it, your teammates winning the fight. This is good times for OB Alliance.
They're in a good spot here now. Here's the only thing. Now Regal Reserve have. That's not what Breaker wanted to do, though. He's going to be taken down. Where's the rest of the team? Was left all on his own as Regal Reserve got very, very aggressive over towards C. J-Rage is going to drop as well. Flash going to come on through to maybe just storm off the push a little bit. They're losing B here as well. OB Alliance, you need to start winning some gunfights somewhere. Domination ticking up. Not going to happen over towards B, though. OB are going to put a lot of their resources over here. But this is a big fight. Can Cougars find anything? He's going to get Ashens, and another couple of kills starting in on Shrew. J-Rage is going to have to back on down. The domination is denied, but a lot of pressure coming in here from Regal Reserve. Breaker is here to try and help, but TJ and himself are going to go down. Cougars is the only one that goes down from Regal Reserve, and they just click their fingers. And the second round on the board for them.
We're going to have a very good game here, it looks like, Ton. It really is shaping up to be that way, back and forth already. We said we didn't want to see that 5-0 that we saw last week in the Pro League. We have definitely seen more out of OB in the last 4 rounds than I think we did in 2 maps last week. And I think it's only going to get better from here as these weapons start to escalate a little bit. Those shot grenades getting placed down. Perhaps a Boltok coming for OB Alliance here, or maybe even another utility grenade to help with that initial fight. It is going to be that pistol going down. We saw actually from Regal yesterday, Zorkos pulling out that Talon pistol, recently buffed, looking pretty strong. But it is usually that Boltok that comes out. And I believe it is going to be that for Physics today. Also for Breaker.
Yeah. Let's see where this initial is going to go, though. Well, OB Alliance have not done too badly here. The shock's starting to come in, but Breaker again with the shock. Catching 2 players. Ashens cleans them up. Regal Reserve running away with their tails between their legs. They have to back on down towards their home hill. They do not want to lose any more. And the utility usage from OB Alliance has been fantastic. It really, really has. And it just, you know what? This annoys me through, because why can't they just play like this every single week? I mean, why
It's
not?
ridiculous, isn't it? You know why? They haven't got pressure on their shoulders anymore. In the Pro League, everyone's pressuring them. Oh, you guys, you got to win a series. You got to win a series. It's been 2 quarters. This, it's just, you know, play your game, see how far you get. You win your fights, you win your fights. They don't really, you know, they don't mind right now. They're not in that mindset of, oh, we've got to prove something. They're in that mindset of, let's just see how far down the bracket we can go. And that removes a lot of weight off, you know, a player's shoulders.
Oh, I'll tell you
Swarm
what,
looking
though.
to dominate.
They're looking to dominate here. They're going to have to move OB Alliance some way. They are just about going to get in towards D. They maybe overextend a little bit, looking for the domination themselves. Now, J-Rage in a bad spot. The rest of his team coming back off respawn. He should be able to make this push, but here come the rest of Regal Reserve as well. Going to be a big fight going on here towards the stairs. It's an awkward one as well. J-Rage and Co just trying to stop that coming through. Regal Reserve just constantly pushing, though. They will find the kills, and that should be it. Can TJ get in? No, he cannot. Regal Reserve forcing their will on Obey Alliance there.
Yep.
Nicely done. Very, very big round out of Regal Reserve, and it's maybe one that they needed. Their first lead since the first round.
That's it, isn't it? I think for Regal, that was a much more comfortable round as well. As soon as they got that lead, they pressured, they pushed forward, and if you're Obey there, yeah, you did all right in the defense, but someone did sneak up behind, and you saw there 2 members of Obey, I think it was Jay, turning around just to find a Queen Mirror staring down at him from behind, and that's the problem, isn't it? When they start to swarm your home hill, it's so difficult to keep track of all 5 members, and Obey, they need to do a better job of that. Find themselves maybe a route through to get to that E hill as well whilst they're defending. They had time. Doesn't matter though. New round, isn't it? Flashbang's out.
Yep.
We're going to go again.
And once again, let's see where the utility goes. It is going to be Obey getting the better of them once again. J-Rage going to find 2 kills there, and plenty coming through for Obey Alliance. Suddenly it's only Jack Reaction and Fractures left, and let's see this time round if Obey can make this pressure count. Last time they pushed and couldn't get there quick enough. The rest of Regal came off respawn and they struggled. TJ straight up the stairs though. Here come Obey from the mid-map too. Is going to be kill coming in from here for Fractures, and maybe just have Obey Alliance back on down because Fractures is starting to heat up. Can't find the third. Breaker finds 1, but they will go down. The domination ticking through for them. Saki, big gunfight goes down. Regal Reserve will hold on here. It should be able to get a hold of E as well. Obey Alliance, this aggression that's coming out from them. I'd maybe like to see them set up. It doesn't seem to be working when they're going for this domination. Now they're going to get pinned back by Regal. I get why they're going for it, but it doesn't seem to be working.
It's not working for them. And the problem they're having now is because we're getting into the later rounds of the map, you're starting to see those respawns, you know, get shorter and shorter and shorter. So by the time they've rotated from E to this D hill, it's a very long rotation in comparison to a lot of maps. You know, you're already fighting those coming off spawn again, and they've got, you know, flashbangs, they've got boltogs, they've got everything. It's so difficult to make that push unless it's very, very clean and you get kind of 4 kills off the bat. You know, you're probably better off just trying to fight it out, but TJ, once again, getting himself a double kill. Starting to put the pressure on J-Rage as well down at the bottom there. Will get cleaned up by Cougars. Swarm. They still have that double cap, though. We've got to look over towards that E-hill. The 3v3 is going to come in just a second.
Physics just trying to put some cover and fire down. Obey Alliance still within this round, though. 50 seconds. For Regal Reserve, it's a close one, but if Obey want to start moving, it has to be in the next 20 or so. Fractures is going to find a kill on Saki as well. There was no doubt on the overextension. Was in the mid-map. Now, if you're Obey, what's the plan? Are you waiting on the shocks coming back up and going from there? You can see they're setting up. They're ready to go. Here comes the flash, and here comes the push. Obey Alliance starting to go, and here comes the shock as well, potentially. He's going to put that one out. That's actually just the flash. Let's see if Physics can find anything as the shocks are starting to be picked up. They're going to come into this fight, but they may not be needed for Regal Reserve. TJ and Ashen's drop. Nice hold by Regal. 15 seconds for the win condition for them now. Obey Alliance have waited just a little bit too long. Saki trying to find some kills here. It will have to be a miraculous comeback in this round if they want to find it. But Regal Reserve are on map point. It's going to be 4-2 now. The elimination ticks through as Regal Reserve hold on so strongly. That's 3 rounds in a row. 4-2 now through.
Yeah, very better second half, isn't it, from Regal so far? I think for Regal, they're just doing a much better job of holding out. Once they've got the lead, they don't really let Obey get back into it. And Obey, when they're pressuring and trying to push forward, they're just not finding the kills that they need. Regal are much cleaner in their attacks, in their defenses. Love what I'm seeing here from Regal. Incendiaries getting placed down. Probably a match. We're going to see those double incendiaries now. More grenades on the maps. Would like to see one of these teams starting to diverge a little bit from the usual. Have something prepared. It's
Obey
a major.
Obey Alliance have
won
won this initial every single time. I wouldn't mind seeing them put something down. The mid.
Put something down there then. Yeah, exactly. Double what you're gaining out of those fight victories, right?
You've
only lost 1.
Yeah, they need to win this initial this time around, though. The shot comes in. It's going to cut off the resources, but the headshot coming through. That's going to be a big kill coming in from Cougars. He finds a couple. Fractures is there to help him out also. That's the first time they lose the initial. It just feels as if Regal Reserve are starting to warm up in this game. Now Breaker's going to get pushed. Can he find anything here? No, he cannot. Going down to Fractures and Cougars, who've just combined so well. to hold on. No, Saki. He was already very weak, and he was being closed out by Zokos. Thankfully for them, OB Alliance did overextend over back towards D. And Saki, sorry, was the one overextending. It would have been nice if he could have found a kill with that Incend before going down, but OB Alliance in a tough spot now. Regal Reserve nicely set up.
They are. And this is the bit where OB struggle. This retake attempt, they don't have much to work with because they've thrown those grenades out. You see TJ going down, and the Regal crossfire so strong now. Physics switching up to that ball top will put a lot more damage down, but you can see actually OB, they're starting to find a killer too. Cougar's gonna fall, but now the whole of OB are up on top of that balcony.
They need to go.
They need to move. They gotta get out. They might they might have an opportunity here to take this as a domination if they can win this fight. They should be able to as well with the numbers, but Physics going huge. Hasn't taken any damage just yet. Does get taken down in the end, and now on the other side of the map, there's a 1v1 for the domination right now. It is Saki looking up against his rival here. He's not putting much pressure on, and the time he's wasting here will get taken out in the end. The time he's wasting here gives his team time to turn back up. J-Rage gets taken out by his team, and I think once again, OB might be pressuring a little bit too hard. No, it looks like they're going to be able to clean up here. Physics, once again, the last one in, finds that kill on Ashens, but all the time he's wasting sees his team coming back off spawn. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Can he get a foot in? Zorkos can.
Gets in. Regal Reserve are back off the respawn here. OB are going to have to go huge. They're not going to be able to. They are going to be forced out. Where are the rest of the team? The win condition still belongs to OB Alliance. They couldn't quite find the domination. And they just didn't clean up those kills. Saki found a team kill as well, but this second wave is so important. J-Rage has found one, and he's already got a hold of the incense as well. Ashen's going to get the down to fractures, but Jack Reaction is there to cover. Will this 2-cap be enough for Regal Reserve, though? It's a 60-point difference, 50 points to go. It might just be enough for OB to hold on. They didn't capture it in time either as well, so that's definitely going to put it over towards OB Alliance. There comes the Incend as well. Fractures survives. J-Rage goes down. OB Alliance hanging on by the skin of their teeth here, Fruit.
They really need to start to move over towards that F hill, don't they? Try and find themselves a... Oh, look at that, Rowdy. Winning map number 1, 5-3. A close game going on in the other losers bracket game, but back in with this one. We got 24 seconds before COG take their 3rd round here.
Regal Reserve are pushing
Look
in
at
numbers.
the lives as well.
Yeah, they're pushing in numbers. They gotta go, but the kills are starting to come through. Ashens takes down J-Rage, which is not the best, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. That's a great shot grenade coming out of probably Breaker, but Breaker and Saki go down. OB Alliance need to hold on, but they all start to fall. Cogwin condition is still there, but here comes the domination. Is there anyone there anywhere for OB Alliance? No, there is not. Regal Reserve clutch up when they need to, time and time again. And we'll take map number 1, 5-2. And that's going to be heartbreaking for OB.
It's another one, isn't it? How many maps are they going to be so close to winning out here and losing it right on the line? We saw it against Rated R yesterday. We're seeing it against Regal Reserve today. But fair play to Regal. They timed it perfectly. They didn't get deterred by that shot grenade going down. They found the damage. They found the kills. And in the end, those team kills on that last round, they could have made the difference. One extra person up.
They could have. There was a couple of them. There was on the overextension, and then there was one when they were trying to defend. Two sides of things, one kill can make a difference. They pretty much got dominated in those fights in the end. But as said, one player left alive finds one more kill, then suddenly you're up in numbers. It can swing it back and forth, but mostly for OB, they're on the wrong side of it each and every time. That's unfortunate. Yeah. That could have been another couple of rounds for OB Alliance, in all honesty. They were in control of a couple, and that could have been a very different scoreline. Regal Reserve, the score will flatter them to an extent. 5-2 will be the final count. We're going to head to map number 2 now in a second, towards District. As said over in the other game, though, it was 3 times Riley who won that first map. We did cover that just momentarily there, but the action was ongoing. Big win for them on that side of things as well. That's a result that I'm personally expecting to go through for 3 times Riley, especially after what we've seen from them yesterday, going up against Team Sick, who have continued to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, Team Sick, they've made that losers bracket run, though. Same with Regal, right? They've both come through from that round 1 loser bracket, and they're finding themselves fighting for a top 4 position here. And a 5-3 scoreline is better than yesterday morning, that's for sure. 3 times Rowdy, very, very good team. They've been very strong. They're the only team to knock out a Pro League team so far, or knock them into the losers bracket so far. And you got to think, if Team Sick, they're keeping pace with them, and they're only a couple of rounds off, that second map could be a fiery one as well. I'm expecting, probably a 3 times Rowdy win, but it'd be interesting to see what the next map results are as they come through.
Yeah, we will keep you up to date on that game as time does go on. Thank you to everybody in the chat hanging around. We love to see it. Good amount of viewers in here already this morning, and things are only going to get better as the day goes on. Now, OB Lions are down here. Regal Reserve up 1-0. Where do we see the series going now? Things were looking positive for OB there at a point, and I'm not going to completely throw it away towards Regal Reserve just yet. District is OB's pick. I don't think they're playing too badly here at all either. And as I said, we'll probably feel a bit of grudge to how that one did end and how it unfolded as a whole map. They definitely could have won a couple more rounds there through. So heading into District, I've got somewhat a little bit of hope for OB Lions. I'd still probably lean towards Regal, but I don't think it's definitely done and dusted yet.
No, I mean, you know, the last time they matched up on this in the Pro League, OB, they were up 4-3. They looked in a very, very good, strong position, and a very unfortunate disconnect came through, didn't it? Right on the wire as they were about to go up and win 5-3, and they lost that 8th round and lost the tiebreaker, sadly, as well. And that was kind of the start of the slump, really, for OB. It was that kicker, in my opinion, at least. They were looking fantastic in that series up to that point. So I think for OB, this is time for them to kind of bring themselves back up a bit and start that kind of better play that we've been seeing throughout this this tournament, but bring it back, get District out of the way, get your ghosts out of the way, and maybe force this to a map 3. They did look good today so far. I don't think they're playing any worse than they did yesterday. I think Regal, their defenses were very, very solid, and it's always difficult to play against a team like that. Couple of little tiny things for OB. When you're closing out a round, have someone able just to find their way. This is something that Elevate do very well. Have someone able to find their way out to one of those extra hills. You know, the ones that are in the opposition control. They are always trying to 5-man defend on their home hill. And time after time after time, they lose those rounds. They lose the map. And one person hiding in a corner, little bit of a runway out to one of those, the neutral hill or the opposition home hill, just cause havoc in the camp. We saw Saki do it a lot in the game. If he can do that on those last defending moments, that's 3 rounds in the bag straight away for OB there, and that's a different map entirely.
Yeah, very well played by Regal, though. They get it done where they need to, 5-2 to them on training grounds. We'll head over towards District, and then we may see Exhibit. I don't think it's out of the question that we see it. In all honesty, OB Alliance have played well on that first map and are unfortunate to go down 5-2, but Regal Reserve did what they had to do. Get it done in what looks like a comfortable victory, but very close rounds all the way through. District coming up next. Let's see if OB Alliance can tie things up here. It's almost like we're in Mexico. I wasn't there. We'll not talk about it. I'm not bitter through. I'm not bitter at all.
Next time.
Maybe next time. Maybe one day. Who knows? Who knows? But let's head into it. It's map number 2 now. Regal Reserve 1-0 up. OB Alliance need to come back here.
They do. They do, and it's all going to be about these opening fights. We know Regal can play this well, and we know Cougars in that mid-street is a very, very strong opposition to be coming up against. See, Zorkos going to be the first one down, actually, so OB starting strong on the killing front, on the slaying front. They do find the down on physics as well, but revive should come through in just a second. I like what I'm seeing so far from Regal, using their Lancers. Their positioning's great. They found 3 kills, and now they're all the way over to that 8.
Solid for them so far. Ejenko getting a hold of it as well. This is a good start. Regal Reserve trying to hold on. Zorkos is going to go down. Can they hold on towards B as well? Looking towards their home hill. That one is done. It's dusted. Very, very good start from OB Alliance. 1-0 now. Dominating in 49 seconds. Very, very solid start. That's what you want to see on their map pick.
Definitely so. Fantastic start. It's all about continuing it, though, isn't it? You can start strong. They did last map, but they've got to be able to translate that through and find 5 rounds against this Regal team who, they've been looking very, very good through the spring quarter. Obviously, we've talked about the addition of Jack. A fantastic interview earlier. I like the humility. He was pretty humble across it. Called out his own weaknesses, and I like to see that from a player. If you can understand your own weaknesses, you also can understand how to improve, right? And I think he's done exactly that throughout this quarter. He's got better and better as he's gone on, as has his team. And, this major really is a first test for that squad against the larger EU region, not just that kind of small pool of Pro League teams. But they've been doing all right so far. Top 4 within their sights.
Looking good for it as well, but they are down to map number 1 off the first round. OB, though, can they repeat that? Can they continue to win these initials. Honestly, it has been a really big thing for them to, you know, keep this one relatively close. In the first map, they won a lot of them, and that's what made the rounds... I don't want to say they threw any of them, but it's what made them close and what gave Obey Alliance a really good foothold in them. Jack and Co now want to make this push towards B. They baited in, Breaker now in the middle of nowhere, and just going to pepper a couple of shots in. Do they choose to use this to their advantage? The flash goes out, Breaker now out of the fight. Saki there in the close corner, just pinning down where they can, but Cougars has come around behind. Where's the rest of Obey Alliance? Are you covering this? Is the Lancer Fire coming in? Jack Reaction is going to clean up. There's two. Very nicely done. Regal far too easily get behind there, and Obey Alliance will be calling to their players and Juice like, where's the Lancer Fire coming from here? Are we keeping them away from us? It's a frustrating fight to lose if you're Saki and Breaker there. Now they're going to have to back on down and going to have to hold on to C. They did manage to keep a hold of A, and they overextended towards C. So they have slowed it down a little bit, but a few players go down. Obey Alliance not in a good spot here in round number 2.
No, and they've got to find a way to defend here. A cheeky kill here and there might be a good opportunity here, but Regal, oh, they've found one, but this is a great play coming out from Saki. He's found 2 downs, just get taken out in the end, but he's put so much pressure on Regal, give his team to come off that spawn, set back up, and also trades himself out 1-for-1. That is exactly what you want from him. Saki impressing me day after day, play after play. He's looking like the real deal here at the Spring Major. Cougars, though, another player that we've raved about a lot of times across a lot of titles, Ton. He's not had the biggest of impacts this tournament so far. I'd like to see more from him.
Yeah, we'll maybe see a little bit more from Cougars as the day goes on, if Regal Reserve's day goes on anyway. Right now, they are in the lead in this round, so to speak. The win condition belongs to them, but Obey Alliance still within touching distance in this one. They're going to overextend over towards C. They need to make this count. A flash or two would help them out here, but Ashens is the sacrificial lamb as he tries to jump in for it. They are going to at least get the decap. Will they go back again? Maybe lingering around, and the revive chain is just about enough to get them a hold of it, but here comes the pressure back from Regal Reserve. 4 members pushing down, and the win conditions with Obey, if they can keep a hold of 2, but they will have to back down. Now who's over towards B? We need to see Obey Alliance start to rotate a lot quicker after that initial break. They haven't been able to. 1 should be enough for Regal here now.
It should be, but the moment that cap came in from Obey, you would have liked to have seen them just rotate very, very quickly. 2 going to their home hill, 2 up towards that B hill, and they would have been able to do it. But in the end, Regal, they make them pay for their mistake. They stay too long, and Regal now steal that round. Well, they'll steal that round, confirm that round, as they look strong all the way through it. A longer round, 2 minutes 54. It took Regal right to the point, but even though it was an elimination, they were almost there on the domination front as well, and on the scoreboard. Pretty much as long as you could possibly have got.
Obey Alliance now looking for a bounce back. It has just been loadouts coming on through. Do we see anything different? Quite often we will see a cinema drop on this map. Over towards Bandstand. It is one we see probably a lot more mid-drops than anywhere else. Has to be said, but Flashbangs a piece going over towards Hotel and Arcade side on the home hills does make sense. Of course, only into the second round.
So isn't it? That is it. Once we get into this one, Ton, a quick shout out. We got a quest on the go. That motherboard long shot available for all to claim. You got to do go to the quest tab, check out the quest there, and follow it through to claim your prize.
Plenty of stuff coming up for you guys today. Make sure you claim everything you can while watching some great gears here in Europe. Breaker and Co, they're looking for this push over towards A. Regal Reserve are there to defend it. But Obey, they did lose over towards B. There's actually a 1v1 going over towards that B side of things as Regal Reserve now push out. Breaker's maybe lingered far too long here. He is going to get dropped and will be left. B has been decapped, and we can see Obey Alliance are starting to concentrate their efforts over there as well, but they need to slay out while they can. Ashens is going to find a kill on the fractures. His physics now is probably going to go for that overextend, but importantly for Obey, they should be able to get a hold of B there. J-Rage is just going to back on down. Nobody capturing that quite yet. They're just going to try and find that second wave of kills, aren't they? Allow Regal Reserve to put the pressure on and try to find the kills, but Regal are positioned quite well. J-Rage and Co now. Can they hold on? There's a big push about to come in from Regal Reserve. This flash is ready to go from J-Rage. He's been so influential for this Obey Alliance team. Now we're going to have to give up control of Cinema here. So Regal Reserve start to put a little bit more pressure on. That flash coming out from J-Rage right now will be an absolute diamond in the rough if you feel for Obey Alliance. Here he goes again. just trying to find some sort of foothold in this fight. There comes the Flash. Nobody there with him. No, he's all alone against 3 members of Regal Reserve. Where's the rest of the team gone? And not helping him out. And bad communication probably coming in from Obey is going to mean Regal Reserve will get a hold of B.
Yeah, Jay tried to get himself out with that up A, but just caught himself right in that corner now. His team, they're going to feel the brunt of this as well as Saki goes down on that fountain. And we do see Regal starting to move down towards this A hill. You can see the cap coming in. It's going to be done as the downs come through, though. The cleanup crew is here. As Cougars, he misses that one, but Zorkos behind him will make sure to grab that. A down on Fractures comes through for Obey. And Obey, they are pressuring. They really are. You can see the B hill now going their way as well. Problem is that it's always the same with Obey, isn't it? Those overextensions, staying too long at the home hill cost them so much in terms of points. But right now, doing their best. Can Breaker pick this up? He can indeed. Saki back on his feet here. Flashbang's going to go down and Breaker starts to push forwards here. Does have a teammate as well with him.
Breaker and Co trying to push through. They are going to get the kills here, though, over towards B. Like that from them. They'll get a hold of it and we'll have time for this win condition here through.
That's it indeed. That is it indeed. 40 seconds on the clock. As Obey Alliance look to lock in their second round now. Breaker, so ballsy here as he's pushing forward. Cougars, I love that from Breaker. He's often a player we give him the titles of being defensive and kind of slow and he's always the kind of the back foot of Obey Alliance, but no, not this time. He's playing so good. So good indeed.
Breaker just getting all kinds of things done for his team. They should be able to try and get back over towards B. They have lost a couple of fights though and lost control. They really were in a good spot in this round and there's still time for them. A being decapped, as is B, and Obey Alliance have rotated very nicely. Are they going to be able to keep a hold of C as well? Yes, they are. Nobody else there. Win condition with Swarm, with Obey Alliance. They have to hold on to B though. Saki and Breaker trying to stay alive, but another teammate is dropped. Breaker goes down. Saki finds one on the physics. Can he find a second as well? Not quite. Cougars will come in, but it's not enough time. Obey Alliance delay enough. 2-1. Just about get it done in round number 3. Nice play from Obey. They just rotated nicely over towards B and the other side of things, and that's what gets it done for them.
That is indeed. J-Rage, he's on that assist game at the moment. Not got a kill, but 7 assists to his name in 3 rounds. He's definitely helping his teammate across the board. I like what I'm seeing from him. It's not necessarily always about those kills, is it? It's about the impact. You heard actually Jack from Regal mention it. His job as that home hill player on most maps is to not die and get as many assists as he can, help his team out. And I think that's a very good attitude to have. Crimson, like he called it, and I totally agree. That is definitely the aspiration of most home players. Crimson, like I would say Saki as well, plays that role very well in a similar manner.
Saki plays it a little bit differently though, doesn't he? I think he tries to be aggressive, doesn't he, with his decaps and whatnot. He likes to overextend, but still playing that role of staying alive. Nice play from Breaker. What's going on here? He's an absolute madman on the sticks. Oh, well, that's maybe a bit more likely. He's just missed 2 clean shots, but eventually will clean up Zorkos. Breaker, what can he get done? The revive comes in. Can he find a third? Oh, Breaker, give it to me. So nice from him. Drop shot in hand. Can he find more? Fractures and Reaction are pushing him. Breaker, don't you keep doing it to him. He does get taken down in the end by that Reaction. And that will... The only good thing there was that Breaker managed to backpack that drop shot. So it shouldn't be on the cards for Regal Reserve. Yes, okay, he finds the kills and does go down, but stopping Regal from getting any more of that.
That was very nice play. Very nice indeed. We gotta look at J-Rage's little card on the right-hand side there. 0 and 4 right now. And that's not a fantastic position to be in. Right now, they need all they can get from all their players, and having Jay on such low lives right now means he's going to have to play a little bit more passive, a little bit further back, but Breaker, TJ, they've got life to spare. They can be that front man in. Zorkos getting flashed out here. Where's the play going to go? Looks like Physics found the down on Breaker. Breaker in that B hill should get taken out here a little bit. They might be able to trade him for Cougars, which is not horrendous. TJ, though, maybe a little bit of a pistol coming out, TJ.
Oh, Cougars is going to get dropped. Can they finish him up, though? TJ's already been dropped, and the cover coming in from Juice was not enough to keep Regal Reserve off, and they will be able to pressure.
Oh, that's Jay down.
God, JRH goes down. Great shots coming in from Cougars. Fractures is going to be there to clean up as well. That couldn't have went worse for Regal, for OB Alliance in that little exchange. Fractures is going to go down to Ashens though, so maybe they overextend towards Seek coming in here from OB.
Yeah, and with J-Rage out now, that 5v4 situation is a good situation to be in if you are Regal. They just got to make sure that they can close this one out pretty cleanly. Don't die too much either. See the push coming in from TJ. That's very, very brave. He gets himself out alive as well. Got to be careful not to block Saki's exit route here. As Regal starts to push down, the down comes in, but the revive is straight away for TJ.
Great lads coming out of OB.
6 and 5. Yep, yeah, looking
them
very,
off.
very good. But you see reaction up in that tower, up in info. Does find the down on Saki. Does find the kill on Saki, actually on his 3rd down. And TJ left pretty much alone here. He's going to get pinched out.
Yep. Oh, Reaction's going to get a hold of the drop as well, where OB keeping an eye on that. They've got pressure on this mid-map as well, and Jack's going to find the kill onto TJ. Won't find anything else, but that would have been a tool OB Alliance would have liked to use. They had a lot of pressure up mid-map there, but they didn't have anybody on it. J-Rage is out as well. Oh, that is a disaster.
Yep, yeah.
Far too easy for Jack just to run through
There's
the middle
opportunity
of the
here.
map there.
There's opportunity here. You can see Zorkos was right in front of Saki. Zorkos also on 0 life, so if they can find a kill on him, they can tie this back up and make it 4-4, and they might be able to do that. Saki pushing so hard. That's a great kill on Cougar's here now. Saki gets a second, a headshot, and that is Zorkos. Zorkos out of the action. Saki now a 3rd as he steps up the game, puts his team on the back, and 25 seconds so Cog will win. But against the run of things, OB Alliance, there were 4v5 down. Saki gets 4 in a row now as Ashens finds the down, and this is amazing from OB Alliance.
Massive
Absolutely
play.
amazing.
Cougars is going to find him though. Right now, OB still needs to push. Physics is going to find the kill onto Saki though. He was continuing that trend of just pushing forward. But Saki, for he was on 0 lives as well, and he pushed forward far too aggressively. I love the play that he made to find himself here. But now suddenly, OB Alliance are in a 3v4. Break it. Can he find a kill maybe onto Cougars to make it a 3v3? He is going to go down. Cougars is the one to deliver it as well. Physics with the overextend. The elimination ticks on through, 2 apiece. What a game this has been so far, but OB Alliance not able to quite clutch up in the end.
Not quite, but that was a fair effort in a 4v5 situation. Well played to Regal for holding it off, but quite honestly, I do think that against the run of things there, OB, they had the opportunity to close things out, and you said it, Saki jumped in a little bit too early there, could have give himself maybe 5 seconds or so on the scoreline before his teammates caught up with him. They would have been able to fight that 2v2 and maybe even turn the tides there. But you got to give it to OB. They're not giving up, are they? This is not last week's OB. This is new week OB, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we like new OB. We do like new OB. 2-2 now. That very, very much could have been 3-1 to OB Alliance, though. They fought so hard. The lives have now been reset. Cougars now. Big fight going to go on here. He's got a great spread on a TJ. A great play out to Cougars, but the late shot comes through. Physics is going to get a hold of that drop. Zorkos is going to be dropped himself, but here we go. Physics is going to waste this to try and keep them off. Breaker, see you later. Oh, he's going to not be dropped, actually. Breaker surviving there. Giant Reaction's going to go down, so wasted drop coming through. Physics is going to get out with it. It's one combination ticking on through here, though.
That's a mistake.
Oh,
Physics kills that Cougars.
This could not win worse for Regal Reserve. OB Alliance get out with their lives as well. Yes, he belongs to Regal, but they could have had so much more there for it.
I'm absolutely loving it. It's like OB have just looked at Rated R and gone, all right, we'll do that. And just playing so aggressively. And this is how we used to see OB. But Fractures with a fantastic triple kill there, although one of them was on his teammate. It was beautiful nonetheless. Coming through. We're seeing some good plays back and forth, and that's just testament to how quick these teams are playing right now.
Fractures and Co, though, they've managed to push through. OB Alliance were in such a good spot, and it just turns on its head so quickly. A couple of quick kills come in from Fractures, and all of a sudden they're on the back foot. Great play out of Regal Reserve.
Yeah, and
OB Alliance, they'll be kicking themselves after that one. They're in a good spot.
It pretty much all comes down to that double kill in the middle by Fractures. Fractures, we've said we've not seen much out of him in the Pro League. We've not seen much out of him in the Major, to be honest. But that double kill there is a round-winning double kill. It's a perfectly timed one. He's in a terrible situation. He makes such a meal out of it all. And, it's just fantastic in the end. Even with the team kill, it just gives his team time to come off spawn, come back and get that triple cap. Very, very well done. Regal, off the back of some very clutch individual plays, now see themselves up 3-2.
OB Alliance could really do with a round here. Oh, the flash comes in. Breaker's in a bad spot. He can't get his shock off. Oh, there it goes. Coming in from a Regal reserve. TJ, though, will have to fight out of a corner. He gets taken down. The drop should be in Regal's hands. And they've just dealt with that fight so much more cleanly than Obey have. The flashes are just a little bit better. They should be able to get a hold of E here now as well. They've got the power weapon that they wanted. Really nice play out of Regal reserve. A fantastic opening from them.
It really was. Very, very nice indeed. And they just seem to have so much control after an opening. Obey, very chaotic. Whereas Regal, pretty much the opposite. So relaxed. Very, very nice play from them. Now they've just got full setup here as they look to stop Obey pushing around the cinema side. See Breaker and TJ on that fountain. No one can really hit them yet, but they are going to have to back off here. There's no route through. TJ will go down, and there's not really anyone there to pick him up. You see Saki having to do a big loop back to pick this up, and with that, he's going to lose a bit of map control, a bit of time as well. And you can see now the time that they're losing in doing that is equating to Regal being ever so close to taking possibly a fourth round, as that win condition does come up just under a minute now.
Yeah,
before they take this fourth.
And I think Cougars still has 2 in this drop as well. He does. Here comes the push. There's one going to go in. Just butters Ashen's up though. Was Nabe able to find anything with it? Obey Alliance going for the decap here, and Cougars choosing not to keep a hold of that. He's just going to send it deep towards Ashen's, and JRH now go down. And could this be the end of the round for Obey Alliance as Regal reserve start to flick the switch? Everybody dropping. Saki will be the last. That might be an elimination ticket in all honesty. It will do. 4-2 now. And that drop shot just coming in. So clutch. We love that from Regal reserve. 4-2 now.
Yeah, that drop shot was beautiful. Much better than physics used the round before. And Cougars, he's been one of those players that on power weapons always succeeds. Question is where are we going now? What's to be played with here as Regal look to select their next loadout option? Perhaps a pistol coming out. Usually we actually see this earlier on in District. I'm quite surprised it's coming in this late. Obey, though, they've got another option to place down. You've got 1 round, basically, until you're out of the tournament. What is your last placement? It's going to be a block on that shot grenade, and that's not a bad choice right now. They can use their shot grenade to take that.
Makes sense. It really does make sense. Now they're going to have the shot grenade to close this out and try and get a hold of this drop shot. 3 times Rowdy win their game. 2-0 on the other side of things. 5-3, 5-1. Looking good for them. They will face the winner of this game. Cougars and Kodo looking to try and be the winner of this game. They will want to face them, and that's where the shot grenade's going to come in clutch. Everybody dropping. 2 players now gone from Regal reserve. Drop shot in the hands of Obey Alliance. They're going to get this, and they will get the drop shot, but they need to find the route off this one because the disable will come in on the other side of things at some point as well. Chat reaction's going to go down as well for Regal reserve, who keep on going. Obey Alliance. Drop shot in hand. TJ finds 2 as well. One was the cleanup on Jack. You don't want to use this too sparingly if you're Breaker. A couple of players in and around this one. We need to get sticky if you're Breaker there, but J-Rage will find 1 and find 2. They're looking for the domination over towards D. He's going to go back, just trying to keep an eye on E. Drop shot will come through if it needs to. Will find Cougars. They will get a hold of E. Really good play out of Obey Alliance. 4-3 now. Big plays out of Obey. It all comes down to having that shot grenade when Regal did not.
Yeah, it was very well placed. They got the kills out of it. You saw them come out of it with kills, drop shot, map position, full control, and the speed at which they rotated. That's exactly what you wanted to see there from Obey. They got to that D hill. It's a long rotation again, but through that mid street, you can get there just in time at this point in the game. Good fights at the end, clean it out. And that drop shot at the end was actually perfect as well. They obviously were communicating well there because you saw they turn around, took that drop shot to E. Very well played by Obey. But now 2 more rounds to keep themselves in this. Can they do that? That's a good question. Drop shots still to fight for, but that disable coming in on the other side this time.
Yep, it was expected. It was expected, but can Obey do what Regal did not? They might. I mean, they're not going to leave it, but Zorkos with the shock. Yeah, they're going to just have to give it up. TJ has pushed in. The flash comes through. TJ may go down. Does survive, only momentarily. But the thing is, for Regal reserve, last time around they lost a couple of players on the route through. Obey only lose 1, but they do lose the drop shot, which was expected.
Yeah, that's pretty much as they would write it here. Problem is now if you're Obey, you can't really clump up. Good drop shot coming out there from Cougars. We'll find Breaker with it. potentially an option there as well. Just drop the second, but this is just delaying. And honestly, for that, what have you gained
nice
from
incend.
it?
Yeah, they
It's a
haven't gained
great
much.
incend. You've only just locked in that second, and points-wise, it's still very even. So
Yep.
all they're going to do
OB
now is
Alliance. I mean, OB have done a better job of the damage limitation with that, haven't they?
Oh, no.
Say that though. Saki's going to get caught out. It's a foot race to see if he can pick him up. Jack will be the first one there. Breaker can't trade it. Big fight going to go on though. Jack will back on down, but good shots by Breaker. Did have a little bit of help when the overextension over towards F comes through. He will have company in a second though.
Yep, just decap and go. That's all he needs to do. And that's really nice. I don't even think he needed the flash grenade there as he had a player behind him, but now they can make this rotation, but they've got to remember about the drop shot. Cougar still has that.
Cougar's
Sure if he's using both.
Yeah, he's all the way over towards F. He does still have one. He's a little bit away from being able to land one, but J-Rage and Cut are going to make this push. The Incend comes in on one side of things. The drop shot, not going to land. So completely wasted, if anything, from Cougars. He hasn't really found too much with it. And the push is going to come through. Breaker's going to find Physics around the corner. The decap at E did come through, but the cap has not. OB Alliance hanging on in this round. They've been on the back foot pretty much from the start. Win condition is still there for Regal Reserve. They have the lead of about 40 points, but E ticks in for OB. Swan win condition. Breaker just needs to stay alive here. Does not need to push. Some good crossfire coming in from both two teams, though. He's going to get pushed out, and that's just the fire coming in from Info. Saki needs to go big, find one for his team, and the second's going to come through from J-Rage. Fractures is going to go down. Nicely done by OB Alliance. They take E and then some.
Yeah, and they get that drop shot as a reward. That's another thing they got to remember is that drop shot was coming off spawn, and Obey, they win that fight. Yeah, perfectly. And then Breaker, yeah, he looked like he was in a bad spot, but his team around him, they clutched up, they got those kills, and they're in a really good position now. They just need to start to make these plays once again, rotate that drop shot around to the D hill, and stop this aggression here. If you can do that, if you can get this, it's an all right drop shot. We'll give it that, an all right one. But his team now in a bad spot. A double drop shot could have come through there.
If they knew there were so many people there, they would have dropped it in, but they actually don't need to. Breaker's just found two, all on his own though, but Fractures is lingering around. I'd love Zog to just maybe back off with this drop shot, not going to find anything. Fractures keeps going. Physics, big fight coming up here. He only finds the kill on the Breaker, but a big one still going on. The shot grenade is here, needs to decap, but all honesty, is it going to be enough? Physics finds the kill. Why was the drop shot not used? But look towards E. Who's there? And we're actually going to see a player coming in towards D. It is going to be TJ. Cougars and Co are decapping E. They have done, but a big fight was won by TJ. D is locked in. J-Rage lingering around. He'll be able to get a hold of E as everybody overextends over towards D. Really big plays out of OB Alliance. They just about force a round number 9.
Life on the line, I told you.
Players. Oh, mate, I'm so annoyed they didn't use their drop shot. I'm
but fume away. They've got there in the end, and you know Breaker's playing well. Breaker is playing so well. J-Rage as well on that E hill come out and made sure that that round was perfectly secure. And I said it last map. They just need to make sure that they're finding their way to these extra hills when they're defending. And this time around, I'm sure they listened to me. It was all me, and they had J-Rage over by that E hill, and out of it, it's a much more secure round. I love that from Obey. And now, against the run of things, they force themselves into this round 9 ton. And life on the line, one round is going to split it. Do they go forward? Do they force a map 3? Or do they say goodbye to their hopes at this spring major?
A lot of it's going to come down to who uses their shocks well over towards this drop shot. Do or die for OB Alliance. They need to win this round to stay in the major. Flash going to come out from Cougars. He's first one there. He just heads down and runs. Can he win this fight? Breaker's going to go down. The crossfire coming in. The body shield coming up. J-Rage is going to get a hold of these incends. Keep an eye on that. Cougars just battering TJ in the corner. The shock's in. It's delaying the push for the drop shot, but the drop shot will go over towards Regal Reserve. 2 members at least drop from Obey. And they actually, J-Rage just killed himself with the incend as well. They're going to have to drop back. They're going to have to recuperate. They still have time in this round, of course. But they lose as much as they possibly could have at the beginning of the round.
Saki, once again, has just gone absolutely massive at the cinema. He was in a 2v1 situation against Jack and Fractures, I believe, and he's found both kills. He just gets taken out by that drop shot in the end, but that's pressure that Obey Alliance should never have had in the first place. Fantastic plays by Saki to keep his team in it here. That is a fantastic flash grenade as well. Saves his teammate. They've got to watch out for this drop shot, though. 2 on the hill. Drop shot goes out. Isn't able to connect now, and Regal, they have a big task ahead of them. They've got to push forward here. Try and find some downs here, but Physics going down straight away. Obey Alliance trying to fight. Life on the line. They find the kill on Zorkos, and it is back and forth between these two teams. It looks like Obey Alliance are going to come away with it, but Jack, he's pushing forward. He finds that kill on TJ here, and we do see Obey Alliance back off a little bit. Breaker, another kill to his name. Looking fantastic here as he pushes forward. The Lancer Fire coming in on Cougars. And for all it's worth, fantastic play by Obey to keep themselves in this one.
Oh, Saki's going to go down on the hill though, but he did manage to decap 105 seconds. But they need to keep a hold of this bandstand fight if they can. Dropshot will be coming up very, very shortly. Regal Reserve are the ones with the pressure there. Fractures is going to get down though. Will this push come in from Obey now? The fight from Juice with the Lancer is going Regal Reserve's way, and that's honestly where the pressure is coming from. Physics is going to find a kill at J-Ridge as well. Dropshot coming up soon. Obey Alliance need to go, and they need to go now. TJ has down Cougars, though. That's going to be coming up in a second as Physics gets a hold of the Incend. If he can stick it in towards Bandstand, that is a bad place to be. Zorkos is going to get dropped. The Incend already came in, didn't find much, but look at the time. 70 seconds for Regal Reserve to win this one. We can see, though, the drop shot is going to be coming up very, very shortly. These next couple of fights are so important. They will get a hold of E, but over towards F. This fight is starting to go towards Regal Reserve. Oh, J-Ridge goes up clutch, and he will be able to get a hold of F. He will back on down. Drop shot comes up, goes down. Physics is there with the Incend. TJ comes and cleans it up, though. Is the drop still on the floor? Yes, it is. They get a hold of the drop shot. The win condition, though, belongs to Regal. Obey need to go.
That's it. They've got one more attack opportunity here. 30 seconds. They've got to wait for their team to find a play here. And TJ, with that drop shot, should be the one to be able to make the play here. Should be able to find a kill here. A double kill would be fantastic. They've got to be so careful, though. Not much time left. Trying to find that perfect shot. TJ has to go huge here. He's got the game on his hands here. Oh. That's a choke drop shot, and that's not what you need. Second one's going to come in, going all the way up towards that D hill. Doesn't connect with anything, and Jack Reaction finds that down. It looks like it's going to be Regal Reserve come through with this one. They've got 10 seconds on the clock. They find the kills that they need. One more member of Obey Alliance has the opportunity here, but it is J-Rage getting taken out. Regal Reserve against it all, come through against the drop shot, take it and take this series 2-0. What a game, Ton. What a game indeed.
5-4 Regal Reserve, map number 2. I hate to say it. Obey had the drop shot and they find nothing with it. Nothing. One kill coming in there and maybe makes a difference. 2 kills would have been massive. You could have found multiple and finds nothing with it in the end. And that's a heartbreaking win to lose. They did everything right to get a hold of control of that map again, but just a little bit too late. They had to go. They had to make it work. They couldn't. And Regal Reserve hold on. 5-4 on District, 5-2 on Training Grounds. What a game that was, and what a way to kick off Championship Sunday here at the EU Spring Online Major. What a cracker through. That's heartbreaking really for Obey. Absolutely heartbreaking.
It is. And, you know, on District of all maps again, they go down 5-4, and they did so well to get themselves back in it. And honestly, they were all playing fantastic, but that final push, it just was not coordinated enough. And Regal, they ate Obey alive at the end, getting all 5 kills. Very, very nice defense from them. But you got to think that drop shot, one better placement with one of those shots, and that's the different game. That's a different ending. So
much pressure on TJ to do something with it there. It has to be perfect. It has to at least find one to maybe make Obey have a chance. If he found a couple, he's a hero, and that's unfortunately just the way it works. In that moment, it was do or die, and unfortunately died in that case. If you're Obey Alliance, they die and they knock themselves out of the tournament. Regal Reserve will advance on. Let's have a look at the bracket, though, the loser's side of things. Regal, with that win against Obey, will go up against 3 times Rowdy once again. That's a rematch from what we've seen earlier in the winners bracket, where 3 times Rowdy won that one against Regal. So that should be an absolute cracker in the losers bracket semis. But of course, we do have the winners bracket side of things as well. Elevate against Rated R is a game to watch out there. But look at the route that 3 times Rowdy have done. They will knock Team Sick after being all the way back in the losers bracket round number 1. You said that before they're through. Team Sick advanced all the way through to the losers bracket number 3, but lose to the same team that they lost to first game of the day yesterday. And we only have 4 teams remaining. We lose 2 more, and it's really coming down to the nitty-gritty of things now, isn't it? But wow, what a game that was. Fantastic stuff out of Regal Reserve to eventually get it done. You know, I don't want to put too much on Obey there, but I feel as if they could have had that there through.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much on them either, because I honestly do think they all played fantastic. And, you know, at the end of the day, everyone misses a drop shot or two here and there. Perhaps nerves got to TJ. He wasn't even supposed to be the person picking up that drop shot. We've got to remember that. His teammate got incendiaried as he was picking it up, and TJ was just in that position to find the kill and get the drop shot. So the pressure was put on him when he wasn't even supposed to be the person in that play with the drop shot. So I don't want to read too much into that. I don't think that's the biggest issue OBE have had, and I think they've played fantastic. On the other side of things, though, Regal, they did enough to put the pressure on, put OBE in that situation, and put them against the ropes with 15 seconds to make a play. For Regal, that's a good situation to be in. They defended well, and they deserve to be in this position, getting that rematch against
100%.
3 times Rowdy.
100%. Let's see how that one's going to go. But before we go to a quick break, we got some news from Frank, and he is going to be talking to us about the Astro 2v2 battles.
Guys, I'm here with Frank from Team Beyond. The Astro Battles have just been announced, the official 2v2 league, May the 15th and 16th. Frank, tell me more. Tell me more about this wonderful idea you guys have had.
Yeah, so we've been running the 2v2s for North America for a little bit, but with the announcement of the online majors, we wanted to provide that 2v2 experience to the online scene as well.
Guys, I'm here with Frank from Team Beyond. The Astro Battles have just been announced, the official 2v2 league, May the 15th and 16th. Frank, tell me more. Tell me more about this wonderful idea you guys have had.
Yeah, so we've been running the 2v2s for North America for a little bit, but with the announcement of the online majors, we wanted to provide that 2v2 experience to the online scene as well. So it's kind of running in 4 different regions. All the events are free to enter. They're open. There's no seed points. So you got, a fair shot at your chance to get in on that pot, the prize pool and all that, which is, pretty significant for, the 2v2s, which were traditionally kind of like just the side tournament. But we have $25,000 and over in total prizing for all 4 of those different regions.
A lot of money on the line. How is it going to be, appealing to new players? There's going to be plenty of professionals in there, but new players, how are they going to get engaged with this tournament?
Yeah, so if you're a new player, kind of just grab your duo, whoever you feel the most comfortable with, and sign up because it's open and it's free to enter. So as long as you have the skill, maybe this is your time to shine. Maybe you're just, a 2v2 god and you have all the slaying power you need to go toe-to-toe with some of these professionals. And this is kind of your chance to prove it. Everyone's on an even playing field, even starting ground. So yeah, the 2v2 online major is kind of where it's going to happen for you.
So what's the key to a strong duo in Gears 5, do you think?
Yeah, so we've seen a couple of different play styles over our tournaments, but the one that sticks out to me is Avexys and Inzum and their pressure. Pressure is a huge component. I know Blaze, when I'm casting with him, he always likes to say damage is currency, and that really couldn't be more true in the 2v2. So if you're able to get consistent damage out, position well, and just work well with your team, I think you got a solid 2v2 squad on your hands.
I heard you mention a couple of names there, but who would your favorite be for the NA side of things to take the whole thing?
You know what? And this might be a little bit of a sleeper pick because we didn't see them during our spring season, but they absolutely tore it up during our winter season. And I mentioned them before, and Avexys and Inzum, that squad, if they're able to pull through and enter and make it through and not get upset, by one of these amateur or open teams, they would be my favorite just because they looked the most dominant in that winter season. I think they won every single event actually, whereas the spring season, a little bit more jumbled and they didn't enter. So they're kind of a wild card with that.
So if anybody wants to sign up, where they got to go?
Yeah, so you can either follow us on Twitter at TeamBeyondNet or head on over to our website, teambeyond.net, and you'll find the sign up links, create a free account, and then you can sign up for your individual region, whether that's South America, NA, LATAM, Europe, or APAC.
Cool. Thanks, Frank. I'm making sure I'm going to try and sign up to whoever will actually come and play with me, but I'm very excited to see how the Astro Battles go on there. Thank you very much, mate.